And here we are. And welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Wolf Grafstein on behalf of the Self-Empowered Athlete. So, today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about positive self-talk. And I think what's really important to understand is that everybody has their own different perspective of what it really means. And tonight, I'm going to share with you my perspective from years of experience of working with athletes in the clinic and in the field, and also some of the new things that I've learned on my so-called self journey of discovery with NLP and hypnosis. And one of the things that has come to light for me lately is this whole thing about retraining the nervous system. That's right, the nervous system. And one of the things that keeps on coming up that I keep on researching is negative self-talk and how that affects the nervous system. Well, let's think about this for a second. If I want to go and work out and build muscle and do weights, I got to do things over and over and over again, right? And if I'm doing the proper exercises, I am going to get stronger. Maybe I'll get bigger. Maybe I'll get faster. Well, self-talk, positive self-talk, negative self-talk is kind of the same thing. So if you are working with an athlete or if you are an athlete and you're listening to this, keep this in mind. If you continue to talk to yourself in a negative way, I'm not good enough. I'm too slow. I make mistakes. I'm messing up all the time. I can't concentrate. And if you're repeating those words to yourself, or you hear your child or your athlete saying that, what's happening now is they are developing a pathway and they're repeating it over and over and over. And this pathway may start small, like a little path, but eventually the talk, if that continues, starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what happens is it causes a loop. It continues looping around and around and around and around. So anytime they decide to, maybe it's gymnastics, do a routine, or if it's hockey and in the middle of a play, they don't know what to do, something negative is going to happen. It's almost like what we say, a self-fulfilled prophecy. What you say to yourself, and you continue to say it to yourself over and over again, eventually it happens, or some people like to say it manifests. That's right. Now, if we take the same thing, except change it instead to something positive, I am good enough. I work hard. I do what I need to do to move forward. I am good at what I do. What you're now starting to do is you're changing the story. And at the same time, when you picture the story, what is going to happen over a period of time is the outcome is going to change. There are going to be better results. And let's face it, there is no such thing, well, some people may think so, but to each his own, as a perfect player, whatever. That does not exist. And the key thing is when we're talking positive to ourselves, not only when people hear it, for them, it may pump them up, which is good, but it's also, in a sense, pumping you up. And the thing is, you can be really calm about it. You can get really excited. It all depends on what your event is. And sometimes what this does to do, what this allows you to do is to be more focused on what the goal is that needs to be achieved. And many times when players get nervous, maybe they get a little bit anxious, they're focusing on the end result as compared to focusing on the task or the job that's needed to be done to get that end result. So if we're thinking more positively and talking to ourselves more positively, we are more likely, or you are more likely, or your child is more likely to have a positive outcome as compared to a negative outcome. So, for example, let's take hockey. You can see you've got Bobby Orr, who is behind me. There we go. And what would happen if Bobby Orr, every time that he went down the ice and he missed and he decided not to take a shot because he didn't think he was good enough, what would happen? Right, nothing would happen. And sometimes what happens in play, whether we're doing that vault in gymnastics, doing that layup in basketball, or hitting that ball in baseball, if we decide not to take that opportunity, not to take the chance to swing the bat, take the shot, do the vault, what results? Nothing. And if we do and we miss, we've got two different ways to look at it. You can say to yourself, I'm not good enough, or what can I do better next time? And that's why it's so important to have that positive self-talk per se. And maybe it is being positive. Because we do know, or I do know anyways, from a lot of research that is out there, that that continuous thing of thinking negatively, as I said before, becomes it becomes a negative feedback loop. And what that feedback loop does, unfortunately, it allows certain chemicals in our bodies or hormones in our bodies to rise, which causes stress, and that continues on, and it does not put you, your child, your athlete in a really good position. So it is very, very important to be positive as possible instead of having that um, negative self-talk. So I guess my question is, if you're aware of that with your child, your athlete, or you as the athlete are aware of that, my question to you is, if you're continuously looking and talking negatively, how would things change and be different if you decided to start talking to yourself in a more positive way, or notice that your child or your player are suggested that they start to talk in a positive way, and see what happens. Don't take my word for it. See what happens. Take the action. So remember, positive self-talk is just one thing about growing, learning, adapting, and becoming empowered. And it is a preferred alternative to negative self-talk. So, with that in mind, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And if you have any comments, please put them down below and continue to follow. And if you do have any comments or any areas or categories you would like me to speak about that may help your child, your athlete, or you yourself as the athlete, please, I am more than happy to do something like what I've done tonight. Anyways, all the best, and remember, please keep a bit of a positive mindset. It just may make your day or your life even better. Bye for now.